Hello, this is Charles, and this is chapter 13 of Out of Time. In chapter 12, a few things happened. Earl and Clyde and Jenny got a hold of Dr. Zelinsky, told him everything that's going on, and, well, he just seemed to believe them right away. And there could be some sparks flying between Earl and Jenny. What's going to happen there? Stay tuned in chapter 13, coming up. Chapter 13. Jenny booked the flight using Earl's card, and when she received confirmation from Avi that he had received everything, she began typing furiously. Earl, you think you can bring both of your belts in here? Sure, what you looking for now? Just a hunch. Bring the belts. Earl went to retrieve the belts, and when he returned, Jenny was just disconnecting a phone call. Let me see these. Is this the switch that turns it on? Yeah, the silver toggle there. She turned on Earl's belt with a crack and the touchscreen lit up. So the only thing wrong with this one is the crack here, she said as she held up the belt. Yep, don't work if it don't have a complete sealed circuit. Kinda like an electric circuit, but different. But look closely. It's a clean crack right on a joint of some sort. The belts aren't one solid piece of metal. Avi made them to be flexible. Look at the other joints. I don't know what metal he used exactly, but it seems to me this could be soldered back like the other joints. If you look, the inside is hollow. Yep. And when it's working, it's almost like something is moving around in there. And whatever that is would appear to come from this motor on the front. It connects into the hollow part right there. Earl looked where she was pointing and said, Well, I'll be. I never noticed that. Just never looked, I reckon. You know what this looks like? Don't know, you got me. Those big round tunnels like scientists build to shoot particles around in. They built a big one in Sweden. Particle colliders, I think that's what they call them. Yeah, they built a huge one in Switzerland a few years back. I remember seeing it on the news. Probably the same one we have in Sweden here. That's what this looks like. The little motor powers up and shoots the particles into the hollow part. If you have it fastened and the seal is good, then it works. I wonder what kind of particles it uses. Professor never told us. I think this crack can be fixed. Now, look at the screen. It's on some mount that swivels. When you're wearing it, you can tilt the screen up so you can use it. Then you flip it back down before you hit the button. Well, look here where it connects, Jenny said as she tilted the screen and pointed at the back. It's plugged in some sort of socket. I think it's meant to be removed. Like you can swap out a new one if one breaks. She gave a firm tug and the whole screen came out. On the back of the screen was a male plug with several prongs, matching a female socket on the belt. Just what I thought. The only thing wrong with the other one is the busted screen. But we have this screen here and I think we can swap them. That should give us one working belt. Jenny, you're a genius. Nah, just pay attention to things. I was always tinkering with stuff when I was a girl. Comes with having brothers, you know. He removed the busted screen from the other belt and attached a good one, and then took another look at the busted screen. Well, bugger all. Huh? Oh, pardon me. This screen is a standard touch screen like you see on tablet computers and phones. The circuitry inside there is intact. Just the screen's cracked. I suspected as much. There's a place that repairs tablet and phone screens. They can do custom sizes, but it's not cheap. What do you mean by not cheap? Probably a couple $100, Bob. Who's Bob? Pounds. Couple £100. What's pounds got to do with some dude named Bob? You know, Bob, quid, slang word for pounds. Oh yeah, like we say bucks for dollars. Well, that's weird. What does deer have to do with money? Same thing Bob does, I reckon. Anyway, I got plenty of Bobs in the bank. Go ahead. Where's this store? I ain't got nothing better to do right now, Clyde asked. It's over on Arnold. You can take my car, Jenny said as she handed Clyde the keys. Where's Arnold? Don't remember seeing an Arnold when we went out earlier. Benedict Arnold Way. Just take a right out of here, and Arnold's at the third light. Take a left. The store's in a shopping center on the right. You got a street named after him? Earl asked. Yeah, some British war hero from way back. War hero my foot. Traitor more like it. Don't deserve a street named after him. Oh, he was during the Revolution, I take it? Yep. Damn turncoat. Turned traitor to the British. And he's remembered differently depending on who wins the war. Makes sense. Anyway, Clyde, you think you can take this busted up thing up there and have them repair the screen? It's worth a shot. Better use Earl's bank card. You use yours and your wife checks the account, she'll know you're not up in Pennsylvania hunting. Clyde left with the screen and Earl's card, and Jenny took a moment to appraise the good belt she had attached the good screen to. So this little compartment here is where the battery goes? Yeah, you just slide the cover down and the other one pops out. How much power is left on that one? Probably not much. We made a practice jump at Avi's house and then the jump earlier today. We got plenty of batteries in our packs, though. Say, you want to take it for a spin? Oh, we can't do that. What if it doesn't work? Oh, I know it works. I've done 2 jumps already. You saw how the screen just pops on and off. Come on, it'll be fun. We'll just go a year and then come back. You come back to the same time. Oh, I don't know. You know you want to. We just go back a year and then we come right back. We don't change anything. Well, okay, but quick. Earl retrieved a fresh battery from his backpack and inserted it into the belt, fastened the belt around his waist, and turned it on. Now, anything I'm touching goes with me, he said as he tilted the screen and entered a date 1 year in the past. How long you lived in this place? Oh, just a few months. Well, we best go outside then. They walked outside, and when they were sure nobody could see them, Earl put his finger by the button and said, "Ready when you are. Just remember, you gotta be touching me to go." Jenny threw her arms around Earl and held on like she was afraid he was going to fall off. Earl pressed the button and felt the usual tingle, but maybe more than usual, and he wasn't sure that was entirely due to the belt. The next thing they saw was a small child on a bicycle. The boy was looking their way when they appeared and was so startled he yelled, "What the bloody?" and lost control of his bike, careening into the ditch next to the sidewalk he was riding on. When he hit the ditch, an out-of-control automobile went right through the spot the bike had vacated a second earlier and crashed into a utility pole. Jenny saw all of this and took a second to take it in before taking her arms from around Earl and saying, "Oh my, oh my, oh my." "Yeah," Earl said, "that kid almost bought it. If he hadn't wrecked, he only wrecked because he saw us appear. That's Billy McIntyre. Let's go back now. I've seen enough." She put her arms around Earl as he pushed the button, and they jumped back. This time, nobody witnessed the jump, but as they were walking into the apartment, she heard a voice yell out, "Hi, Miss Taylor," in a friendly tone. She turned to see Billy, now a year older, ride by on his bike. She waved at him and said hi back and followed Earl back into the apartment. "You know that boy?" Earl asked. 1 year ago today, Liz Williams was sending a text message while she was driving. She got distracted, drove on the sidewalk, and crushed a kid on a bicycle into a utility pole, killing him instantly. That kid was Billy. Liz was convicted of vehicular homicide and sent to prison. It was big news. The trial was on the telly every night. Whoa! So he's alive because he saw us. It would appear so. Wow. Just wow. I could have picked any time of day for the jump. Any time. He removed the belt, swapped the fresh battery, and turned it off. They both sat there for a minute, processing their thoughts, Jenny overcome by the knowledge that she had saved the boy's life just by being there. Earl still dwelling on how it felt when Jenny's arms were around him. Why did I do that? All I had to do was touch him, she asked herself silently and out loud. That's one belt fixed, one to go, and I think I can fix the other one. But we won't know until Clyde gets back. He'll probably be gone a couple hours. All we need is one. As long as everyone's touching, we can all jump. Next time you jump is when you take George back? Most likely. Ain't no need to before then. How many people you figuring on making that jump? Earl carefully considered his response. Many as need to. I need to look some more things up, Jenny said as she sat down with her computer. Well, I'm going to whip up some supper then. Have something done before Clyde gets back. Jenny watched him retreat into the kitchen, watched him maybe a few seconds too long, and then went back to her computer. Earl went through the fridge to see what looked interesting. There were more steaks, but they had steak for lunch, or dinner, or whatever people called it here. He found some lamb chops and took those out, and looking for vegetables found several bags of frozen peas. English folks sure eat a lot of peas, he thought to himself. He rooted around in the kitchen finding potatoes and onions in a cabinet, but no beans. This girl needed to learn a thing or two about good down-home cooking. Well, English never were known much for their food, unless it's fish and chips and beer. At least that was one thing they did right. The beer was pretty good. He took one from the fridge and cracked it open while he was looking for seasonings to put on the lamb chops. He never ate lamb much, or at least never cooked it. He figured it couldn't be much different than other meat. He had plenty of time to cook since Clyde wouldn't be back for a while, and Jenny was searching for who knows what on her laptop. That girl was a whiz on that computer. Clearly a skilled hacker, or whatever they called them here. But she was always trying to downplay it. Learned it from her brother, she said. He would show her some good redneck cooking and see how she liked that. He knew Clyde would. He was cutting up the potatoes and onions and thinking about the turn his life had taken in just a few hours. It started so well. They made the jump and had the perfect trap set. Would have succeeded if they had thought to take the belts, but he was so enamored of baby George and he trusted the slaves to take care of it. He couldn't blame them. They did what he said and took the weapons and packs. They wouldn't know to check under their shirts for the belts. Should have noticed when they were tying them up, unless they just tied their hands. That's most likely what happened. Then they figured out a way to bump the button somehow and jump out. If that had gone smoothly, they would be back at the hotel room telling Avi how it went and planning to drive back the next day. Mission accomplished. God bless America. Then there was Jenny. Was there anything there? Maybe. Maybe not. Sure seemed like it. She belonged to this world and he didn't. But if they were successful, this world would cease. They would go back to Ohio and she would be in London and wouldn't remember him. Take that back. She would have that computer and those photos. If the photos survived. Most likely not if he erased this timeline and everything in it. Thinking about all this made his head hurt. Just a few days ago, time travel was something in science fiction, not something real, and certainly not something he ever imagined he would do. He took another sip of beer and thought about home. He thought about fishing in Brookville and hunting with Clyde, picnics on the 4th of July, hot dogs, burgers, more beer. These thoughts brought a smile to his face, but the more he thought of home, the more he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing back home. Something that might be in the next room. He put a skillet on the stove, heated up some oil, and dumped the potatoes and onions in and went out to the deck with the lamb chops. He put them on the grill on low heat and went back in to tend to the potatoes and to put a pot of peas on. He sat there sipping his beer and tending to the food when Jenny skipped into the kitchen with her laptop. "You look like the cat that just ate the canary. I've been looking things up. What did you find this time?" "Oh, I don't know if it will do us any good or not." "Well, what is it?" "The brothers bought a car." "So, lots of folks buy cars. You might have noticed a few of them out there." "Wait a minute, how do you know that?" "Just looked it up. Everything's online these days." "That's not something you just look up." "I said I'm good at looking things up." "Yeah, learn it from your brother. When he teach you that stuff?" "Right after he got out of prison." "Well, that explains it. He teach you anything else useful?" A few things. Nothing you can make a living at. Not an honest living, anyway." "I'm not sure I want to know." "All in the past now. Thank the Lord he forgives." "Amen." "You believe in the Lord, Earl?" "Won't meet a hillbilly that doesn't. Comes with the territory." "And Clyde, too?" "Yeah, we go to the same church. Have since we were knee-high to a grasshopper." Earl went out and checked the meat on the grill, stirred the potatoes and onions, and sat back down. "So the brothers got a car." "They don't even try to hide anything. They just wrote a check for the whole thing." "And you just looked that up?" "I'm good at, looking things up. You might have said that once or twice. We have a word back home for what you're good at." "We do here too. I just don't like the word. It makes it sound, I don't know, like a crime or something." "Probably is." "I know that. I don't want to break the law. You have to wonder which law is more important right now. I feel like we're serving a greater good." "Good Lord, girl, you sound almost like an American." "I'll take that as a compliment." "What's that smell?" "Potatoes." "That's not just potatoes. You put onions in them?" "Just the way my mama makes them." "That hillbilly food?" You could say that." "So about them buying a car. Should that be a big deal?" "Might be." "Why you say that?" "They're driving it to the airport to catch their flight to Poland." "How exactly do—" "Never mind. What does that mean to us?" "They think they're going there to wait in ambush for you and Clyde. They have 2 of those belts, but there's no way you could get one of those on an airplane." "Man, that don't make no sense. Those dudes are billionaires in our time, and they got their own jets. Now here, and they're taking an airline? Maybe they don't have one of theirs here, and they don't want to waste any time. They might think they're racing you to Avi's. Or maybe they aren't worth as much here and don't have the private jets. So either they left the belts in a hotel room, or they're going to leave them in the car while they fly. I'm not sure I'd leave them in the room. Housekeeping might find them. Not if they were put in a suitcase in the closet. But I think we can rule out the hotel room." "Well, how's that?" "I placed an anonymous tip about a cocaine stash in their hotel room," she said as she turned her laptop so Earl could see the screen. "Looks like the police didn't find anything." Earl saw the results of the police search on the screen and started to say something, but only shook his head. "You just looked that up. Now you're getting the hang of it. So what you thinking?" "We have to pass by Baltimore on the way to Boston. The 95 train has a stop at the airport." 95 train? Never mind. So why you want to stop there? Easy. Their car is there. They're in the terminal waiting to board. The car is in long-term parking. Looks like they got there about 10 minutes ago. And you just looked that up. See, hillbillies aren't that dumb. And we can be when it suits us. How often does it suit you? You'd be surprised. Folk underestimate you when they think you're dumb. That will be their downfall, underestimating you. You want to stop at the parking garage and pay a visit to their car. You gonna take something from the car? Maybe. Maybe leave something. What would you leave in their car? Bait. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 13. If so, please like and subscribe. And if you would like information about my other work, you can check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.